From 1619 to 1865, the United States grappled with a profound injustice, the institution of slavery. This period of forced labor and dehumanization left an indelible mark on the nation's economic, social, and political fabric. The transatlantic slave trade, an unprecedented human trafficking enterprise, forcibly transported an estimated 12.5 million African people to the Americas between 1500 and 1866. The voyage across the Atlantic, known as the Middle Passage, was brutal and deadly. Captives were packed into overcrowded ship holds, often chained, with disease, malnutrition, and abuse claiming roughly 1 in 5 lives. Historians like Marcus Rediker emphasize that nothing in history matched the scale of this race-based slavery, with nearly 1.8 million Africans dying en route to the Americas. English colonies quickly adopted African slavery. In August 1619, the privateer White Lion arrived in Virginia, carrying 20 and odd Negroes from a captured Portuguese slave ship. These first Africans were initially sold for food, not labor, and some, like Anthony and Mary Johnson, even won freedom and property, becoming early African landowners. However, as tobacco and rice plantations spread, colonial governments passed strict slave codes, codifying slavery as lifelong, inherited bondage by the late 1600s. Historian Ira Berlin notes that these early generations, known as Atlantic Creoles, were Africans familiar with European ways, often blending into colonial life before the harsh realities of codified slavery took hold. By the 18th century, slave labor became the backbone of Southern plantations. Tobacco, rice, and indigo crops demanded vast human workforces, leading to massive imports of Africans. Charleston's harbor became known as the Ellis Island of Black America by mid-century, as planters imported huge numbers of enslaved people, especially into South Carolina and Georgia. Ira Berlin notes that over time, much of the South became a true slave society, where every law and custom was shaped by the institution of slavery. The invention of the cotton gin in 1793 and westward expansion fueled a boom, leading to nearly 4 million enslaved African Americans in the United States by 1860. Life under slavery was marked by relentless labor, harsh discipline, and the constant threat of family separation. After the federal ban on the Atlantic slave trade in 1808, an internal Second Middle Passage developed. Between 1810 and 1861, over 1 million enslaved people were sold or moved from the Upper South into the Deep South, breaking up as many as 1/4 of slave marriages. Despite these immense hardships, enslaved people forged strong communities, forming families, churches, and secret schools wherever possible. As historian Ira Berlin explains, slavery was a system of domination and death, but also a source of life and creativity, where enslaved people fashioned a rich legacy of religion, families, music, dance, and culture. African Americans resisted slavery in countless ways, from subtle acts of defiance to organized rebellions. Many ran away, seeking maroon communities or following escape routes north. Harriet Tubman, an 1849 runaway, became the most famous escape conductor, returning to Maryland about a dozen times to rescue family and others via the Underground Railroad. Other resistance was overt, with slave revolts occurring in every generation. Nat Turner's 1831 uprising in Virginia, where he and his allies killed 55 white individuals, struck terror among slaveholders. By the 1830s, a nationwide abolitionist movement had grown, with black and white anti-slavery activists like Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, and William Lloyd Garrison condemning slavery's cruelty. The rhetoric of the American Revolution, emphasizing liberty and natural rights, spurred many northern states to end slavery in law. In 1861, the southern states seceded, leading to the Civil War. Thousands of black Americans fled to Union lines or enlisted in the northern armies, believing they were fighting for their own freedom. President Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, effective January 1, 1863, declared that all persons held as slaves in Confederate states shall be forever free. This transformed the war into a fight against slavery, though the proclamation technically did not free slaves in loyal border states or Confederate areas already under Union control. Final abolition came with Union victory and constitutional law. In December 1865, Congress ratified the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery within the United States. With that amendment, nearly 4 million enslaved African Americans were legally set free, ending slavery in every part of the nation. The challenges of freedom and equality for former slaves would, however, continue in the Reconstruction era and beyond, shaping the ongoing struggle for civil rights. The history of slavery in the United States is a testament to both profound human cruelty and the enduring spirit of those who resisted it. It is a history that continues to inform our understanding of justice, equality, and the ongoing pursuit of a more perfect union.